First off, let's talk about the title of the video. Back in 2016, I was invited into the Fortnite Alpha, back when the current game Save the World PvE-based defense mode was just called Fortnite. It was seriously the game that you played back then. It was the game that Epic spent most of a decade building, at one point under the guidance of Cliffy B. Bleszinski. It was the game that also wound up on store shelves and is now a collector's item. I played through the tutorial back then and I was under NDA, and I couldn't say anything about it, and then I was done. It just didn't grab me. Epic really thought this base/tower defense meets Minecraft cooperative zombie shooter with a complex progression scheme was going to be their next big hit after they'd sold the Gears of War franchise to Microsoft, and a newly unveiled Unreal Tournament was there, somewhere. But by 2017, zombies were on the way out, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was in, and it was in a huge way, sucking the oxygen out of the multiplayer room on PC. It was heralded as the game of a new battle royale genre, the progenitor of 1,000 copycats. I got swept up in the hype and even made a video about it, but I didn't have any friends to play with, and I was genuinely awful playing it. I made a video about that too. Fortnite released on early access with a wet thud. People liked it, but it wasn't a hit, and it felt really similar to the popular Orcs Must Die games. Epic realized they had an extremely brief window to capitalize on the Battle Royale genre, and in 2 months, Fortnite Battle Royale was born. It quickly captured the imagination of the world for a few decisive reasons. It was on consoles and phones, when PUBG wasn't. It was a bright, cartoony, and bloodless game with incredible casual appeal, and most importantly, it was free. Epic has made billions of dollars off of Fortnite microtransactions and the game store they erected afterwards to compete with Steam by offering more profits to developers. So 3 years later, here we are, and I haven't played Fortnite. You probably aren't asking why, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I haven't played Fortnite because it's a game for other people. Why wasn't I on MySpace in 2006? Because it was for other people. Fortnite is a game that 12-year-old boys download and play on phone displays at Best Buy, pissing off employees. The media was concerned that this game, a title calibrated specifically to psychologically engulf young minds, was destroying their social lives and their futures. Kids were no longer playing outside with their friends. They were inside cloaked in the glow of a screen, playing Fortnite together late into the night. Still, I've been in the market for a multiplayer game for years, and not just any game will do. In the past year, there have been 2 attempts to hijack my Epic account, an account that has otherwise been quiet since I created it, coincidentally, for the Fortnite Alpha years ago, so Fortnite must be a big deal to someone. Downloading and installing the PC client was easy enough, but I spent an embarrassingly long time fumbling through Fortnite's menus trying to actually play the game. I'm not kidding, it must have been a solid 10 minutes of scrolling in and out of the main menu hub to sub-menus I still didn't understand. Well, I do understand one thing. They want my money, and they've designed every last prompt to ask me to buy V-Bucks for any number of things from progression to cosmetic nuggets. There are so many questions I have about all these screens, like how do I get to pick my avatar instead of being deployed as a rotating character on the game's whim? I'm sure all of these can be answered with my debit card. When I did eventually figure out how to play the game, I was struck by how structurally similar it was to what I knew from PUBG. This is going to seem really silly and redundant being one of the most popular games of all time, but hang on for a minute. You start in a flying transport with 99 other players that zips in a random line across a map dotted with abandoned villages. You parachute out, land somewhere, and scrounge weaponry and gear from empty houses and buildings. You seek out and destroy other players as the environment closes in around you, pinning you closer to the remaining players until eventually there's a single winner. It's a battle royale to a T. As similar as both games feel, they're also very different. PUBG is about modeled realism, bullet drop, and massive empty environments crafted with realistic terrain. Fortnite is a cartoony, almost wacky presentation of a single, smaller map where you don't need to manually pick up every single pack of ammo. Items float in the air with a colorful glow indicating their power, and there's a Deadpool yacht you can dance on for XP. Fortnite features a dopamine treadmill like the best free-to-play games, with medals and trophies exploding to life on your screen for accomplishing pretty much everything. If PUBG is a stick, Fortnite is definitely a big carrot. Fortnite has a big twist with its base building mechanics. Epic didn't want to throw out all of the tools they had been working on for years in their original PvE base building game, so you have the ability to gather resources in the map and build primitive components of a structure that resembles the settlement system of Fallout 4. Most everything in the environment, especially in Civilization, can be hacked down with your pickaxe into 3 resources. Everything is grid-based, and it's a testament to Epic's artistic design skills that it rarely feels like these buildings are graph paper layouts. Don't expect any crazy destructive physics when knocking out chunks of structures, but do take advantage of hacking through walls to make your own doors, or for making quick escapes. There's no Minecraft level of terrain manipulation, but it's a fun tool to have. But why do you need to build a base in a game where you're constantly in retreat? Knowing how to handle your base building abilities is a requirement for high-end play. You're not throwing up ramps and walls for fortification purposes, you're doing it to erect temporary shields when you're under fire. You're using it to simply move up and out of the way of your enemy. You're using it as an extremely elaborate shield. It's easy enough to use and easy enough to shoot through, but I haven't gotten the hang of it. It requires faster fingers than mine. But then I really wondered, did I need to master these mechanics at all? Within 24 hours of installing the game, I won my first solo victory royale, and in another match, even though I died long before the end, I managed to single-handedly wipe out an entire squad. I didn't erect a single ramp, wall, or floor. Fortnite has a really incredible way of making you feel like a badass. In PUBG, I've killed probably 2 guys, period. Everyone gets the drop on me. But here, I'm a king. Oh wait, I realized. Fortnite has bots. If you're more insightful than I am, you notice in the pre-game lobby a bunch of players stand perfectly still before eventually performing dances. And then you realize that they have really generic names. And then you recognize some other unusual, non-human behavior. Now come on, I can't be that bad of a player, right? What if I try a ranked match against actual humans? I should have the hang of this, I should be okay, I should be good. Dead, 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 dead. Not a single kill either. Nope, I'm definitely not that good. So now I'm in a sea of uncertainty about if I'm actually doing that much in the game aside from gathering points for doing basically anything, and whether any of my victories are legitimate. PUBG lays it out very simply. Everyone is a human, which is probably why it takes so much longer for their matches to start. And your skill as a gamer is clearly represented in your action and statistics. In either game, there are plenty of opportunities to slum it up into the top 10 by hiding, although you'll have far more opportunities in PUBG's massive maps. But what's the fun in that? You'll still need to try and kill someone at some point. Then I got into the other modes, particularly Fortnite's Team Rumble, a 50-on-50 brawl that eventually focuses all 100 players into a single spot on the top of a big hill, and it's here that I saw the genius of some of Fortnite's mechanics. With so many people condensed into one spot, structures were flying up like hornets' nests one second and destroyed by explosive fire the next. Airborne spawns made the hill's power pylon a celebrity as people duked it out on top like buzzing insects. Before the storm contracted, I was out in the town, smashing in as many materials as possible to take to the map's upgrade centers to turn my newly found weaponry into even deadlier weaponry. Both games have their niches and that makes sense. PUBG is a slower, more cerebral game that feels like the closest thing to the capture the flag matches I played in as a kid while camping in the Scouts. I mean, obviously we weren't hunting each other down with guns. Obviously. Even the smaller maps bring me back to the Desert Combat mod for Battlefield 1942, with vast rolling terrain that made soloing and sniping possible when the over-designed and cramped levels of the Battlefield sequels didn't. PUBG is a game for hobbyists and the hardcore who use tactical lingo with their squad of a dedicated few. It's a game for guys who paint miniatures. It can be very zen until you hear the echoing pops of gunfire in the distance, and possibly even then. Watching for the vibrating pixels of a moving target while concealing yourself is tension building. PUBG masters tension. It can be outright terrifying at times, like when you need to move forward toward the new smaller circle on the map and be aware of every last one of your angles at all times, or you'll be snuffed out. Fortnite makes a strong case for its existence too. The game throws you into the action quickly and doesn't waste your time with mundane details. Realism is for chumps with too much time on their hands. Fortnite is fast, frenetic, and exciting. I mean, Deadpool is all around this game right now. Travis Scott is sauntering topless and wearing astronaut suits in this incredibly elaborate 10-minute concert. I don't care that much for Travis Scott's music, but the stuff they do have in here is visually inventive to an extreme. Fortnite may be a hip platform to promote on, but it's also a really good, technologically sound one. Epic is a story developer too, hardly a slouch. I'm sure if you told them 10-15 years ago that this was the game they'd be working on while they were in the midst of Dusty Reds and Shipyard Greys of Gears of War, they'd probably be very surprised. I do want to note that I have no idea how people can possibly enjoy the mobile version with all of its controls compressed into the screen, much less succeed. Maybe they're playing in 100% bot matches. I paid full price for PUBG a few years ago and I haven't paid a cent for Fortnite, and I feel like I've gotten equal time with both. Fortnite's fame can't last forever, and there may never be another major battle royale game ever again. Well, I mean, Apex Legends is out there, and while it runs like crap on my machine, I hear it's pretty amazing. That aside, these two games serve audiences large enough that one or the other, or both, will be plenty of Battle Royale for everyone.